Welcome back to the deep dive. So we've been on this journey through Mark Carlson's Health Under Control, the HUC framework.
Yeah, this whole series.
And for everyone who's been with us, we've really dug into the first 5 principles: the technical stuff measurement, action, function.
And today, we're at the final act. This is it. We're wrapping up the series.
We are. We're diving into the last 2, Principle 6 and Principle 7. And these are different.
They're totally different. They're not about what you measure or, what protocol you're on. It's all about how you relate to it. It's about who's actually in charge.
Who holds the authority? So the mission today is, well, it's about autonomy, pure autonomy.
That's the word. And we're getting there through Principle 6, client-led agency over practitioner dependence.
And Principle 7, presence over teaching mode.
And these two together, they're framed in the source material as the antidote.
The antidote to what he calls the health attention economy.
Right. And we had to start there because that idea sets the whole stage. We're living in this world where everything about our health is being scored and monetized.
All the time.
And that whole economy, it thrives on dependency. It rewards you for constant engagement, for following the algorithm. The stakes are just.
Yeah.
They're so high because if you outsource your own authority for long enough, you lose something fundamental.
You lose discernment.
You lose the skill of just knowing what's real by feel.
Okay, so let's unpack that. This quiet handoff of authority, it's so sneaky because it starts with things that are genuinely useful.
Of course. A glucose monitor, an Oura ring, even a simple blood panel. They start out as guides.
But then they become the referee. They get the final say on your own life.
Exactly. The external verdict. And we see this play out every single day. I mean, you might have had a great night's sleep. You feel rested.
Yeah.
But then you roll over, you check the app, and it says you got a 68. And all of a sudden,
suddenly you feel tired. You start yawning.
You literally start feeling tired. Or you feel hungry. But you check your glucose graph, and the line hasn't dipped low enough yet. So you start this internal debate. Like, is this hunger even real?
It's just chilling. Your body sent the signal 2 hours ago, but now the data has veto power over your own experience.
It completely preempts it. And it's not just physical. The source material talks about how even our emotions get filtered through this lens.
Oh, absolutely. So instead of just feeling sad, as part of being human,
you interpret it as a defect, a quantifiable problem. Oh, my dopamine must be low, or this is a cortisol imbalance I need to correct. The raw human signal gets translated and sort of sanitized until you can't even recognize it anymore.
So what does this conditioning, what does it lead to in a clinical setting? And the material describes a very predictable pattern.
The pattern is dependency. It's that simple. Even with the best intentions, the system just rewards following instructions.
Right.
So clients end up collecting protocols like passwords. They have their functional doctor's plan, their therapist's workbook.
They can speak the language perfectly.
Oh, fluently. They can tell you all about their gut microbiome or their adrenal fatigue. But their confidence in their own body, their own ability to heal, it shrinks.
So as soon as the plan ends,
the symptoms just drift back because all they built was compliance. They never actually built capacity.
Which sets us up perfectly for Principle 6, client-led agency. This whole idea that freedom really begins when you can choose not just what to use, but when you can choose to stop.
When you can responsibly stop.
Yeah.
The client has to be central.
The opposite of that, practitioner dependence, is it's the default. The client feels like they can't change a thing, not their diet, not a supplement, without getting permission first.
And the practitioner stays in the middle when their whole job should be to make themselves optional.
Okay, but how does a practitioner do that? I mean, practically. Let's use the example from the essays, the elimination diet. It's so common.
It's the perfect example of this whole conflict. So in the dependent scenario, the client follows the diet for, say, 6 weeks. They feel way better.
A huge improvement.
But now they are terrified to reintroduce anything.
Yeah.
They're sending these anxious emails asking for, a step-by-step guide on how to try dairy.
What are they really asking for in that email?
Protection. They're asking for outsourced protection from failure. The protocol worked, sure, but the real outcome was just deeper dependence.
So what does the HUC model, the agency scenario, look like instead?
The practitioner teaches the structure. Here's how reintroduction works. Here are the signals to look for bloating, fatigue, skin issues, whatever. And then they step back.
They let the client take the lead.
And the client learns to read their body's own verdict. They become the authority. They make these nuanced calls like, okay, sourdough's fine, but cream cheese is a disaster, and it's all based on their own direct experience.
That shift is everything. From asking for permission to just reading your own signals, how does this apply to, say, tracking tools, like HRV biofeedback?
Well, the initial guidance is great. A practitioner can show you how to use your breath to change your HRV score in real time. It proves the connection.
It makes it tangible.
But the goal can't be to just get a good score every morning. The real goal is for you to be able to recognize that calm, parasympathetic state without the device.
So you start adjusting your day based on how you feel, not what the number says.
Exactly. You adjust your workload based on your felt sense of stress, not the number the app spit out at you when you woke up.
Can I imagine the same goes for supplement protocols? They can become a real crutch.
Oh, a huge one. The dependent client is still taking 10 supplements 6 months later just because someone told them to.
Right.
The client with agency understands the why. They know why they're taking magnesium. They track their own response. And if they feel good, agency means they test lowering the dose. They test stopping it. They become the adjuster.
And the practitioner then becomes a consultant.
A highly specialized consultant, not the keeper of the keys.
So success isn't about sticking to the plan. Success is the transference of capacity. It's the client learning to adjust through their own awareness.
Which is the perfect bridge to Principle 7, because that agency can only happen if the practitioner adopts the right stance.
And that is presence over teaching mode.
Right. And this principle, it really challenges the default of almost every practitioner, which is just to give more information, to teach.
The sources are so clear on this. Most people don't need another lecture. They show up over-informed.
Completely. They know all about their mitochondria, they've read the books on trauma, but they can't actually feel the emotion that's underneath all that intellectual armor.
So when a practitioner defaults to teaching, what are they really doing?
They're often just projecting knowledge onto a system that's already full. I mean, think about a classic scenario. A client comes in, they describe this deep tightness in their chest. They feel frozen.
Okay, so in the teaching mode scenario, what happens next?
The practitioner jumps in to explain polyvagal theory. They'll map out the dorsal vagal complex, talk about neuroception, and then assign a breathing exercise.
And the client takes notes, they feel understood for a minute.
They feel validated by the smart explanation. But the tightness in their chest, it's still there. The explanation just became a little intellectual hideout from the feeling.
An intellectual hideout.
Yeah.
That's a powerful way to put it. Now, contrast that with presence.
With presence, the practitioner just holds the silence. They don't rush to fix the feeling. They hold space for the client to actually be with the tightness.
And what happens in that space?
It's remarkable. The silence lets the system do its thing. The client's breathing will shift, maybe tears come up. The body starts to complete the emotional process that all that analysis had frozen solid.
The body finishes the conversation.
It does. But this takes a ton of confidence from the practitioner, right?
Yeah.
You're trained to provide value through information.
Yeah, if a client is paying you for your time, how do you justify just sitting there in silence?
That's the challenge. That urge to teach, it's often about the practitioner's own anxiety, their own need to prove their worth. But all that teaching just creates more shoulds.
You should meditate. You should do this.
And the client follows it all. But it's out of compliance, not desire. So they end up feeling hollow, even if all their metrics look perfect on paper.
So presence isn't just about being quiet. It's about restoring desire.
Yes. It holds the container long enough for the real question to finally come up, which is, what do I actually want here? And the answer that comes from inside, from that felt sense, it has so much more power than any instruction.
And just to be clear, this isn't saying never teach.
Not at all. Presence is the stance. It's the foundation that makes all the other methods work better. It means you teach, but only when the client's system is actually ready to receive it, not just when you feel the need to fill the silence.
So when you bring principles 6 and 7 together, you really see the whole HUC mission come into focus. It's about restoring what the essays call embodied literacy.
Embodied literacy. It's the ability to sense what's going on, interpret it, and then respond to what your body needs without asking for permission. It's the restoration of self-trust.
It's when that gap closes between what you should do and what you want to do.
Because what you want to do is finally aligned with what your body actually needs.
And this leads to that ultimate moment of agency, that distinction the material makes between a genuine signal and just ambient anxiety.
Right. Think about someone reaching for their glucose monitor. In that moment, if they can pause, they might realize, wait, I'm not reaching for this out of curiosity.
Yeah.
I'm reaching for it because I'm anxious and I need a number to tell me I'm okay.
They're looking for external validation.
And just recognizing that impulse, that the action is driven by fear, not genuine inquiry, that changes everything.
And for practitioners, this framework allows them to move so cleanly between really different domains.
It really does. You can go from interpreting, a complex microbiome report to doing deep emotional processing work, because the filter is always the same.
Self-verification.
Self-verification. You start from the assumption that the body isn't broken, it's intelligent but obstructed. Your job is just to help remove the obstructions. Agency will handle the rest.
So, after this whole journey through all 7 principles, what does this mean for you, the person listening, as you go about your life? I mean, the system around us is screaming one message.
It's screaming that your health is a project. Something to be managed, a problem to be solved, a score to be optimized.
Always.
But what the HUC framework is really suggesting is that the most important skill isn't better management or more knowledge. It's protecting your own ability to tell when something is actually working for you.
Internally. Without needing a graph to prove it, that capacity is your ultimate authority.
And principles 6 and 7 are the guardians of that authority.
So as we wrap up this entire deep dive series, here is one final thought for you to carry with you. If the ultimate goal of all this work is to restore your own self-trust, your own authority, what is one metric, one device, or one habit you're currently using that might be preventing you from hearing what your body already knows?
Where are you still looking outside for permission instead of just checking in?
That moment of realization, that's where the shift from dependency to real autonomous agency truly begins.
Thank you so much for joining us for this final deep dive into the Health Under Control 7 Principles. For more of the essays that built this framework, you can go to healthundercontrol.com. And for services that put all these principles into practice, check out unblocked.health. We'll see you next time.